everyone, to Legion Gaming. I'm your host, Donnie, and I'm joined by my club co-host, Deucy.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Deucy, how are you doing this afternoon?
Oh, I am doing great. I'm ready for this laid-back episode. We've got our mint coffees.
We do.
Ready to just chill.
Yeah, it's a pretty great time. So this episode, for everyone listening out there, is going to be sort of a bit of a bonus Christmas holiday memory. It's very loose. We just kind of want to have some sort of Christmas-themed episode. We couldn't really land on anything specific, although we did get one suggestion for Home Alone on Super Nintendo, which I quickly advised that probably wouldn't have a whole lot to talk about there since it's not a great game.
And I've never played it. I've seen tons of plays on YouTube. And
yeah, you have to play it here, and you're like, all right, well, I got my 10 minutes out of it.
Yeah.
Let's ruin this. Let's try to roll this out for over an hour. Or something.
Died immediately. I didn't. I didn't accomplish anything.
So this is going to be a very loose, fun conversation, just about whatever comes to mind for Christmas memories, Christmas gifts we got. There's probably a lot of fun stuff we could talk about. And then this is a precursor to what's going to be sort of the beginning of the new year for us. We're going to do a series of games. We're going to cover Donkey Kong Country 1 through 3 and then Donkey Kong 64. So next week after a mini series, yes. And so after this episode, next week is going to be the beginning of our Donkey Kong Country series. Something new we want to try out. For us, those games specifically, we were always talking about, like when we first started talking about doing a podcast, that was like one of the first things that came to mind. It's like, well, we got to cover Donkey Kong Country. Like, that's a given.
Yeah. Don't know when. Don't know how.
Don't know when or how. And I think we wanted to get to a point where we were a little bit more confident in like the recording, editing, and the flow of things. Because we also want to do, those games justice as well. That's the other side of things. Like, we didn't want to be trundling and fumbling through,
Yeah, or rushing through. We're definitely not squeezing more than one in at a time. Because they all deserve their own spotlight.
Yeah, they do. And then for us, again, like we have so many memories for all of those games, all four of them, that it's going to be really fun to revisit. Although I revisited one already, and I'm in progress for a second one.
Me too.
We'll
1.5.
About that. 1.5. Yeah, I'm like 1.25 or something like that. But before we get to that, and that'll kind of segue into this, but Deucy, what have you been playing lately?
Yeah, so those. No, but I also have been continuing my rampage of finishing games this year. I'm proud of myself because I showed you that list I made. At first, I only made the list out of games I finished for the first time. And that was already up around 9 or 10, which is huge in my lifetime of games. I don't think I've done that many in one single year. And then you came back with 20 something. You were just throwing everything.
Well,
in
and
there.
that's all I can remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Even then, I was kind of shocked about that because I have much like many people, I have like a ridiculous backlog like anyone else. Like it's just, we always say if we didn't have to work, we could spend a lot more time gaming and whatever else. But usually that's not the case anyway. But yeah, I was surprised that this year I probably finished the most games I finished in a single year than I have in a long time, if not ever. I mean, the ones I was naming off for you, I hit like 25 or so at least. And I don't know if there's any others. I'm sure there's more if I dug through. But even for myself, I was surprised. There's like a lot of great games in there.
I had reached up to about, when I added in some that I've played before, like Aladdin, Donkey Kong Country, those types. It got up to about 13 or 14, maybe 15.
That's still a solid list. I mean, that's one a month if you want to split it up that way.
But most recently, I finished Mario RPG, the remaster, which was a breeze compared to back when we played it on Super Nintendo.
It really did, and then that's why I was surprised when people say that Mario RPG on Super Nintendo was easier, which I guess it did get easier as you went along. Plus, you could grind, but for me, that was a really hard game in the beginning.
Yeah.
So when I went to the Switch version, I was surprised that I felt like the difficulty was tuned just right. It had the little spike, but it wasn't anything unmanageable.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it felt like your levels caught up to that, and then it wasn't as hard. For some reason, just that ocean area was
with
was
Johnny
rough.
Shark, I think his name is
Johnny
something.
Jones?
Johnny Jones.
Yeah. And then the same night, I didn't even know I was this close, but the same night I beat Mario Wonder, like back to back.
I do remember getting your text after that. Yeah, that's right.
I was like, oh shoot, there was only literally 2 more levels in the Bowser fight in that one. I was like, okay. So yeah, bang bang, and then right after that, I decided I want to try one more before the end of the year, and so I restarted the Link's Awakening remake.
Oh yes,
on Switch.
Switch.
I had already gotten about 4 or 5 dungeons in way back when it first released, and then I hadn't played it since then, and so I was a little lost, and I didn't know where I was picking up from, so I just had to restart from the beginning, and I'm already back to about 4 or 5 dungeons completed. So
I have to double check when I finished it because that might be when I finished this year as well. I might have tried to finish that before Tears of the Kingdom came out. So we'll add that to my list.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. But it's a great game. It's a great remake. I tried to get into the originals, when they were released, not when they released, when the DX version was released on Game Boy Color, because I had that one. And I got, it was one of those things like I was younger and I got lost and I wasn't sure how to go through because it felt different than what I'm used to with getting the, like Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time, where you get the 3 gems first and then you go for the 8 dungeons. But on the Switch, once I sat down and got through it, like it's pretty breezy. Like there's a lot of dungeons in there. I think there's like 8 or 9, right?
I think there's 8.
8, and like they have these really good puzzles, and I feel like it was easier to get around in the Switch version than it was when I was younger on the Game Boy Color one.
What I've noticed about this one, now that I've played the Mario RPG remaster, is they're very similar in that it's very close to the original, but with just a ton of quality of life improvements. Like the dash is one button; you don't have to keep switching to the boots. Mm-hmm. The sword is always an attack; you don't have to keep switching to the sword as an item. And I played it for the original Game Boy back because one of my neighbor friends had it, and I borrowed it from him a lot. But back then I was little and I needed to have a guide to even tell me where to go before the first dungeon. And then I realized when I was playing this one, and it was probably true of the original, is it's very linear. It's even more linear than Link to the Past or Ocarina.
That's how I felt about it because everything was pretty deliberate, and there's also that there's a longer side quest where you could trade in the items. I forgot what you got out of it too, but even that, like the game felt pretty straightforward, which I didn't realize when I was younger. Like I didn't know it was that cut and dry. Like it does a pretty good job at nudging you in the right direction.
The owl always comes and talks to you after a dungeon, and it literally tells you, go here next. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I paid much attention to it back then because the text boxes were pretty small on the original Game Boy, and it took longer to read, and I was little and I was impatient.
Yeah, just not reading through, just skipping everything.
Yeah. I was like, I've got a book for this. I'll just look up where to go next.
Yeah, that's a really good one. For me, what I've been playing. So this week was interesting. I tried Fortnite for the first time in like 7 years.
That is mind blowing to me.
It blows my mind because I really didn't like it when I played it at first at all. Like, I didn't like the building thing. I didn't like the art style. I didn't like how the gunplay felt. And then our friend Matt, one of our best friends, he recently got into it because he's stationed and he was some of his friends were getting into it. So he and I have been playing it over the last couple nights, and it's pretty fun. But it's also funny because like it's I guess the way the matchmaking works is it's at least it's pretty easy so far. Like we won twice in a row, which doesn't happen in Warzone. Yeah, we're noobs, but we're just killing everyone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've got all the actual war training.
Yeah, like we were done. We went through Warzone. Like this seems like it's less by comparison, but also could be because like they're matching us with newer people too.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty fun. We were doing the no build mode, which has been the reason I didn't like it to begin with.
Yeah.
And it's battle royale. It's fine. Like it's a lot more funny now because like there was a mission I actually stumbled upon where there was like a guy in a yellow suit. I thought it was like a statue just staring off or being positioned in the house. And I turn around and it's Peter Griffin laughing at me. What? And he's a boss in like this section in this area of the game. So he's chasing me and Matt. I'm like screaming and I'm like, what is this? Like, why is Peter Griffin chasing? Why is he in a spacesuit thing? Like, why does he have like this spandex thing on? And Hammy's like laughing at me because he's like, what are you talking about? Because he's upstairs. And it's like it's really fun because like there's so many different IPs. Like I saw Michael Myers dancing around in there. Like it's really ridiculous. Deadpool's in there. I saw someone with a Spider-Man suit.
Well, that makes sense.
I was hearing licensed music. It's such a bizarre like fever dream of what it is now.
I wonder. I don't see it. Well, I also don't go searching for it on YouTube, but I don't see too many plays of Fortnite. I'm sure it's huge on there, but I wonder how they get around some of the licensing stuff.
Well, I mean, they pay for it because I know people buy whatever stuff, like they buy the V-Bucks, they buy this, the skins and whatever else with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how that works with clips and whatnot. But also it's usually only playing in the lobby, so it's not like you really hear it when you're running around the battlefield and whatever.
Oh, the classic Halo days when we would do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we've been playing that a little bit, and then I finally tried Warzone 2, but it's like the Modern Warfare 3 Warzone 2, however they're positioning it. And it's been pretty fun. I did play the new map. I haven't played one game, but my impression of it's better than it was for whatever. I think it was Urzikstan, or what was the last one in Modern Warfare 2?
I can't remember the name of it.
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But it left me with a better impression, and the gunplay feels a lot faster. Like I would say it feels closer to like the original Warzone or like even Cold War in terms of speed, which I liked.
Yeah.
So it's been fun, and that's, we've been doing well on there. I was surprised. Like I hadn't played in like, a couple weeks, especially since the new season hadn't started yet. So I was surprised. I was thinking like I would get blasted by people who have all the, the proper guns, the meta guns.
Is this officially season 1 of Modern Warfare 3?
Just started the 6th, December 6th.
Oh, okay.
So it's the new season, new everything, like new UI and new, graphics and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you'd get it back into it or enjoy it much, but it's I don't know. I guess it's a step in the right direction.
Did they ever fix, because on launch it was a huge joke about the spawning and everything. Did they ever fix the multiplayer of Modern Warfare 3?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been following it because I haven't bought it. So it's one of those things where it's like I'm waiting for it and see what else they're going to add to it or maybe for a sale. And it's on sale on Xbox Live now, and I think like PSN too. But I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where I know I'm going to end up buying it. I just don't know when. It's just a matter of like I'll probably scrolling through and I was like, well, I feel like playing Modern Warfare 3. Maybe I'll buy it.
I want to cherry pick my way through what they're offering because I just want the new zombies mode.
Yeah, for me, like I usually would play through the single players, and I heard this one sucks.
Yeah,
pretty universally renowned as being terrible. Yeah, so yeah, I would have preferred if I could just buy these things piecemeal. Like maybe I would buy zombies in multiplayer for $40 instead of $70 with the campaign that is apparently 3 hours and not enjoyable at all.
Yeah. They really should have either stick with the original intent that was DLC or done another Cold War Black Ops in between.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how that's going to pan out because they'll never admit that it was supposed to be DLC. Like they've already come out.
Even though there's all the evidence pointing towards it.
Yeah, on PS5 and I don't think PS4, maybe it does, but on PS5, Modern Warfare 3 shows up as like a DLC trophy list under Modern Warfare 2. So if it's not DLC, I don't know what that could possibly mean.
I was going to say, how do you get that bug?
Yeah. Come on. It's really weird. But at the same time, it's, like anything else I would say, it doesn't really matter because I know this is already outsold Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's already, I don't know if it's broken Call of Duty records. Actually, I know they said that as far as player engagement and, time spent, it's like the best of all time already, like in the first week. So it's
they can lie about anything.
They could, but at the same time, I would also fully believe it because the people who are complaining about this, all 500 of them, don't make a difference in the grand scheme of things.
But I feel like they're reaching people finally. Like, look at us. We didn't immediately get it on day one like we have the past 4 versions. So there's got to be another contingent of us that will drop off and come back to it later.
There is.
Like, I can't believe that this would have better numbers than Modern Warfare 2019 or even Call of Duty 4 back in the day.
I would think so because everything, it seems like every year they're increasing in growth and more players and whatever. But the other side of it too is like during that whole Activision, Microsoft, FTC lawsuit.
Yeah.
They found in discovery that certain PS4 users, the only game they play is Call of Duty, right? There's nothing else installed on that system but Call of Duty.
That's because it's only big enough to install that one game.
Yeah, especially now, right? So it's like they didn't reveal that for Xbox, but I guarantee there's people who have a Series S just for that game.
Yeah,
because again, you probably can only fit that. They have a Series X. It's the same thing. I'm sure people only play Call of Duty, which it's fine, but I also think it's like everyone else like us, where I'll wait till they add more stuff, or there's a sale inevitably where you don't get a huge discount, but it's better than paying $70 out the gate for it,
That's another reason I don't want to get back into it just now. I'm enjoying all the free space on my hard drive. Yeah. I have games lined up waiting for me, like Dead Space, Control. I got Baldur's Gate 3 waiting, and what else? Oh, I was eyeballing Fallout 76 and Far Cry 6.
Oh yeah, Fallout 76 is a beefy download too.
Yeah,
so is Far Cry 6.
So is Far Cry 6. So I'm like, and I can do it. If I had Call of Duty on there, I'd be like, okay, what am I kicking out?
Yeah, that's what sucks. I really wish Microsoft would just allow any solid state drive to work in the Series X so you could expand your hard drive instead of having to wait for the cards to go down in price. Because they're insane. It was like $200 for 1 terabyte extra.
That's a whole new system.
It's a whole new system. That's basically a Series S at that point. Yeah. And then for comparison's sake, like I got a 2 terabyte SSD for my PS5 for $90 on sale. I just, it was a 10-minute install and that's it.
My external that I have that I brought over from the one was, it wasn't Microsoft. It was just one I randomly got at Best Buy on sale, and that was perfect. It was a terabyte in itself.
Well, yeah, but also the Xbox One could play games off the external hard drive. The Series X doesn't. Like, you have to have everything installed internally or on the SSD card thing, the expansion card. So it sucks, but it's like a terabyte should be a ton of space, but in today's world, it's like a handful of games. Yeah. It's really crazy.
Jingle bells, Santa smells, Christmas really stunk. I got nothing that I like, my gifts were all just junk.
Boxes full of clothes,
CDs no one knows. When I wanted something for my Nintendo 64. Zelda's great, Turok 2, South Park would be fine. How about Rogue Squadron? That game should be mine.
Make up for a lame Christmas. Get the hits you missed on N64.
Mom and Dad, I'm so sad.
All right, Deucy, you can hear those sleigh bells are jingling. What Christmas memories do you want to kick off with today?
I was, I was thinking about it on my way here, and I think one of my earliest Christmas memories, a couple of them, were always involving what I was asking for Christmas.
Sometimes I felt like it was more fun than Christmas when you're looking through the magazines and the catalogs, circling stuff you're not going to get, but you're going to ask for.
And in my family, I always had like 3 lists to kind of make. One for my parents, one for my aunt and uncle, and then
I don't remember this at all.
And then one for Santa.
Yeah, for Santa, in case no one else got you anything.
Exactly. Santa was always the big stuff. It was like, Santa, you get me the systems, and I'll ask for the games from my family. Also, back then was toys too. It was like,
it was.
I was deep into Legos, and then even Tiger handheld games I would actually ask for on purpose.
And the Power Ranger sets, I always was there.
Oh yeah,
you would always have the awesome sets. I remember the transforming head ones where you could twist your arm.
The automorphs.
The automorphers, and all the Zords you had. Because I only had like a Zord, and you had Zords plural.
Yep,
so it was always more awesome.
I had every Megazord for the first 3 seasons.
I remember. And did you have the White Tiger Zord, I think, too?
Yep.
That's right. I remember that.
And so for games, though, I remember one of my earliest games that I was super excited for, and I think I mentioned it on a previous podcast, was Darkwing Duck. And that's probably the first one I can remember actually getting when I asked for it. Because every year I would ask for just a ridiculous amount of things. I would put Super Nintendo, Sega.
I know you include Sega on there.
Yeah.
You were trying to dive into Sega.
I was trying to get a Genesis and a Game Boy and a Game Gear. I put all 4 of those on one list one year, which, in my mind, I didn't know anything about prices, but I was like, one's got to stick. But before that was Nintendo games, and I think Mario 3 and Darkwing Duck were the first 2 games I ever got excited for before release, when I heard that they were coming. And my parents would always say, well, Christmas is coming. That was a quote of the household. But Mario 3, I think we just went out and got one time. It wasn't even for a birthday or a Christmas. My dad liked...
just because.
Yeah, my dad liked Mario, so he wanted to play it too. But Darkwing Duck, I remember constantly asking for it. I couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait for Christmas, and it finally came on that day, and then I spent all my time, all the rest of Christmas vacation, just playing that.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I miss about being a kid is when you would get those games for Christmas. Like, you usually get like 2 weeks off for Christmas break, typically. But I always remember being excited leading up to Christmas for what you're going to get, and then also knowing that you're going to have like another week and a half, whatever it is, to play whatever you got.
Yeah.
Until school started.
Oh, it was so great when the Christmas lined up with like the first weekend of your vacation.
Yep.
It was a bummer when like Christmas was the Friday of the first week, and you're like, well, there goes a whole week.
Yeah, I just feel like I was robbed the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I would say one of my fondest Christmas memories was, and I think I mentioned this before, like I forgot what episode it was, but it was Christmas '95. Around then, we had gone to Toys R Us, which usually for us was a treat because it was like a half an hour drive, and my parents rarely wanted to go out there. So it's like, I forgot why we were there. It was probably for someone's birthday. It might be my brother's birthday, actually, because we were lined up with the timing. And I remember, again, leading up to this, I was talking to my dad. I was like, yeah, I would really like a Jaguar for
Oh
Christmas.
no.
I was seeing stuff like, I think it was Alien Trilogy or Alien versus Predator. I forgot what other games were on. I think I saw Demolition Man. For some reason, crap like that sold me. I was barely 10 years old. And like, I was like, oh, I really want that Demolition game on the Jaguar. So for months, I remember like kind of, keeping eyes out where you could buy it, because up until this point, I'd never seen a Jaguar for sale in a store. The only way I knew it was nearby is because there was, like a circular for Radio Shack, and they were advertising that they had the Jaguar. So I was telling my dad, like, hey, whenever you're Christmas shopping, like, Radio Shack has the Jaguar. We went to Toys R Us, and then I remember going there, and like, this is back when they had those awesome glass cases where everything looked like it was like a museum. It was like everything was very bright. They had the bright showcases, right? Like, it was like, I remember going at, walking through there as a kid, and like, it was just like heaven, because you were just, you had these beams of light hitting you and just looking at all the consoles and the games and displays. And I saw what I didn't know was a PlayStation. And more importantly, I saw WrestleMania, the arcade game, and Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Oh, yeah.
So when I saw those two, I didn't even know what the hell it was. I looked at the price. I didn't understand it. It said like $50. I think the system was like $400. And I told my parents, like, well, I want this for Christmas instead of the Jaguar. And I was like, are you sure? Like, you've been talking to this Jaguar for like the last month, whatever it's been, 2 months. Are you sure you want this? I was like, yeah. Like, they got WrestleMania and Street Fighter, the movie, the game. This is what I need. So, I did get it for Christmas, and it was, just as amazing as I expected. Like, my dad and I both played WrestleMania, the arcade game. My brother Bob, who was, he hasn't been on the gaming podcast. We have to get him on the gaming podcast.
Oh, yeah. That'll be funny.
We did the Hollywood Video Guys with him. And, he played with us as well because he loved wrestling, and he was always Razor Ramon or, The Undertaker. And, I remember
Did he spam a one move over and over?
I think he probably learned it, because he was always good at that. He'd always find that one move. And I know one move he liked was the Undertaker's choke slam. Like, you'd hit forward triangle, and like he would kind of slide forward, almost like a shadow move, and then like grab you by the throat and choke slam you.
Yeah, unavoidable.
Yeah, almost unavoidable, really. Except if you go out, up or down on the axis there. So yeah, like the PlayStation was like, I didn't realize it was like one of the biggest systems, growing up for me. And it was fortunately the right choice, because if I had gotten the Jaguar, holy crap, I would have regretted that almost immediately.
I was going to say, the size of the bullet you just dodged.
I Neo'd that thing beyond belief. Like, if there was a Keanu Reeves before The Matrix, that was me as a 10-year-old dodging the Jaguar bullet.
I also am grateful that my parents and Santa, they went the Nintendo route for me. When I would put all of those down on the lists, I ended up only getting the Game Boy one year, and then the Super Nintendo maybe the following year. And then my dad got a Game Gear for himself.
I remember that, because
I'm not sure if Santa got him that or not, but the Game Gear was fun. I was playing that, but that was his, so he would play it mostly, and then I had my Game Boy and everything else. But looking back over the years, I'm just glad that I had the Super Nintendo to continue the Nintendo legacy.
Yeah, it's funny, because it's my friends growing up were usually either or. Like, there was usually someone I knew who had nothing but Sega, and then there's most friends had just Nintendo.
Yeah.
So it's like, I was lucky my parents at the time could afford a Genesis, because my half uncle had it, and like, I'd seen Altered Beast, and that's what I asked for as well. And except I got Sonic with it, and I didn't know that it was a much better game to begin with, so it worked out. But yeah, it's for me, the Game Gear, I did, for one Christmas, like, this was like when we were really like in a rough spot. But I remember the one Christmas, the one thing I asked for the Game Gear, this was actually the year before, I think PS1, maybe it was a couple years. I asked for the battery pack for the Game Gear.
Oh,
I could get one gift that year. Like, there's nothing else we could get. We all were promised, allowed to get one gift. And I remember asking for the Game Gear battery pack.
You're like, this is economical if you think about it. We're gonna save on batteries if you just give me this one, because Game Gear sucked up 6 batteries at a time.
It did. And like, I was playing it a lot then. Like, I was playing a lot of Street Stage 4, like the Power Ranger game. And I knew batteries were a drink, because we get them from Costco. And it's like, if we ran out of batteries, my dad's like, he's not, they're not going to go buy batteries at Long's for me to go play the Game Gear.
This was probably before Costco, or right when Costco was brand new, because that's where we got our batteries.
They were
a ton, like the length of this table.
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned the Game Gear, but I do have fond memories of the Game Gear too. Like, I think that is such a weird system to me for how it just kind of failed. but it didn't fail. Like it was kind of popular, and I think the batteries what killed it and the lack of good games.
I didn't even realize it had failed because I mean that was the only Sega thing we had in the house, and I liked it. That's how I got my Sonic fix.
I know I did love the Sonic games on there. I borrowed Sonic Drift 2 from you, which is really cool. That was a great game. Even though I was like, "Where's Sonic Drift 1?" and it turns out it was never released here.
Wasn't it? Oh, it existed.
It existed only in Japan though.
Yeah,
and we somehow got part 2.
And then to this day, it has the 2 best Power Ranger games ever.
I would say so. Yeah. Out of all of them, I would say because I would say the Power Ranger movies on Genesis is up there for good.
Yeah, that was.
But
really
the Game
good.
Gear ones are really good. I played the hell out of those.
Yeah, only until recently when that fighting game came out, and also that beat 'em up that I don't think you've played yet. That one's pretty good. It's just called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
the 360 one.
Yeah, cartoony beat 'em up.
Yeah, I haven't played that one at all. Yeah, that's right. And also the Game Gear had arguably the best version of Jurassic Park. I don't know if you've played it yet, but it's one of the better Game Gear games and one of the better versions.
I think I played it very briefly at your house, but I don't remember it too much.
Yeah, I had it, and I don't remember playing it much either. That's the thing. So I played it on emulator recently because I had heard, I think it was a podcast or something else talking about Jurassic Park and its 30th anniversary, and they were talking about all the different versions of Jurassic Park, and also because that Jurassic Park collection just came out too, the digital version.
Is it on there?
The Game Gear one is not.
Oh,
they managed to get the 2
Weird.
Genesis ones added, which was nice. But they didn't add the Game Gear one, which is unfortunate because
they even have the Game Boy one on there, but not the Game
exactly.
Gear.
Yeah. By the way, that one's on sale right now. It's $25 if you want to get it.
Ooh, yeah. I should look into that.
Yeah. Let me think. So another fond Christmas memory I had would be 2001. This was the PS1 was out. It was starting to hit stride because I believe in October of that year, Grand Theft Auto 3 had come out. And then November, there was Metal Gear Solid 2.
Wait, you mean PS2?
PS2.
Okay.
Yeah, excuse me, PS2. So PS2 was hitting its sort of stride. Like it was getting that influx of huge games. And then there was nothing bigger Christmas of 2001 for me than Final Fantasy X, Deucy.
Oh.
So I remember getting that game at KB Toys. And the thing is like my parents would ask us what we wanted at that point, and they're just like, "Well, give us a list. We'll just get you whatever." And then sometimes like they'd be with us while they bought it, and they would wrap it, you know.
Yeah.
But I remember going to KB Toys because Final Fantasy X was sold out everywhere. There was no store in the area that had it, and my parents were not going to go, on a goose chase to try to find the one game. So we went to KB Toys, and they had one copy, but it was opened. I think it was one of those things like EB Games does where the employees can check out the games.
Oh.
So I had to convince my mom. I was like, no, like you don't get it. Like this is the last copy around. Like we have to get this. You know, like you don't understand. This is the last chance we have to get it. And she's like, but it's open. Why would I buy an open game? And it wasn't a used. And my mom, like how she screams like with her Italian accent. So it sounded a lot louder than that and a lot angrier. But I was trying to convince her to buy it, and then we finally did buy it. But she said, "All right, I'll buy it."
Was it a reduced price for being opened?
It was not.
Oh,
so
man.
that's also what made her more mad. Is like this isn't even cheap, and it's just he wants this copy now. So I got it, and then my mom's like, "All right, well." I tried to convince her, she's like, "Well, can I play a little bit to make sure it works? Make sure the disc is fine." And then she said I could, but then I remember playing like the first half an hour. And the opening of that game is incredible too. Like it just shows how much of an evolution it is for the series with like the voice acting, the graphics, the music. Like I was invested in that half an hour. Mom was like, "All right, well, you gotta stop and we gotta wrap it up and put it under the tree." I was like, "Oh God, don't do this to me."
That sounds like something my parents would do.
Yeah. So I had to wait like 2 weeks while I had like a memory card saved. Like I was like, I know where I'm at.
You're just staring at your memory card files like
Yeah. Because that little icon's Final Fantasy. I was like, oh jeez, this is gonna be an agonizing wait.
Another big memory for me, I think I already mentioned in the last episode though, was for my Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. That's probably the clearest memory I have of Christmas. When I got Final Fantasy Mystic Quest first, and I was like, oh no. But I do remember after that, I got probably the next year was Donkey Kong Country, which is a good segue into our next episode. But
I was going to say, like, the next thing I was going to lead to is like, what games did you play around Christmas? What makes you think of Christmas? And Donkey Kong Country is a perfect example for that.
I'm pretty sure I got all three of them every Christmas. But for some reason in my head, I didn't remember that they came out annually.
Yeah, it did not feel like that way when we were kids at all.
Until they came out on Switch Online and you can, organize by year. And there they were, 94, 95, 96. I was like, what, really? Because it always felt like I had so much time in between each that I could beat them. I think I 100%ed each one. But it always felt like just the right amount of time before the next one came out. And it always felt like more than a year had passed before the next one.
It did, and because I remember you specifically getting Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3 for each Christmas, because I would also borrow them
Right after,
pretty much right after you were done, or if you were distracted by something else, or it was more often than not something like I would have gotten for Christmas that you didn't, and you're like, well, I'll borrow that if you can borrow this kind of thing, we trade. But those felt like it came out like 2 years apart, and it feels really weird because Super Nintendo kind of died, or not kind of, it died in '97. So Donkey Kong Country 3 was, I think, November, December 96. So it's like one of the, we'll say like one of the last less than 20 games on the Super Nintendo. It's a pretty late release.
Yeah, you'll notice, we'll talk about this obviously in a few weeks, but the crew that made DKC 3 wasn't the ones that made 1 and 2 because they were already working on N64 rare games. But it still held up just as well. And I do remember, I can picture it in my head, the yellow legal pad that I would use to write out my list. And I do remember writing DKC2 and DKC3 year after year. But it was also a thing where that wasn't like the only game I would get. Sometimes there'd be like a Game Boy game paired with it. One year I probably got the Donkey Kong Land games alongside the Donkey Kong Country games. And my mom was always a huge fan of the Donkey Kong Land games. She would be playing those and 100%ing those while I was playing the Super Nintendo.
I do remember going to your house and she'd be playing that, or I think was she playing Bond for a little bit too?
She played, yeah. She
was playing a lot of stuff. Like I always go over to your house on Saturdays and she was always playing like some game on the couch, like watching soaps or whatever else she was catching up on.
She'd always have her back to the the window so she could get the light just to see.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we'd be playing and all of a sudden you'd hear, "Stupid monkey!"
Yeah. Then she'd turn that off and then start playing with us. And I would have to stop using Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
She owned the house, so I can't really say no. Can't let that happen, I think I had to go to, I don't know if I picked Wario or what. I had some backup in case your mom played with us because I was like, I can't fight her on this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna win. Yeah, so Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, I vividly remember borrowing those. I think it was just after Christmas because it was the same thing. Like I couldn't wait to play those either because I didn't get those as a kid. I always would borrow them from you.
Yeah,
I got those as an adult because I was like, well, I've been playing Deucy's copy for like 20 years.
Yeah,
I think it's due time I get my own.
Another weird Christmas memory I have, and it had to have been around the same time as Donkey Kong Country 1, was I got the Tiger handhelds of Aladdin and Jurassic Park.
So that must have been Christmas '93 then, I would think.
Something around, and I'm gonna say '94.
Yeah, because Jurassic Park was '93, the movie.
Yeah,
so maybe it was '94.
And I just remember when I wasn't playing the Super Nintendo, if I was just chilling on the couch, I would have those to go towards. And for some reason, like I really enjoy the Christmas time of year, not just for Christmas.
I think it's the atmosphere and everything. That's
exactly.
What I like. Yeah, I hate the whole getting dark early thing for daylight savings, but the atmosphere of Christmas it's great.
I don't like it getting dark early now that I have to be out in it, like when I'm working and coming home in the dark.
Yeah.
But back then I liked it because it meant the lights in the house came on earlier, and back then we had warm yellow glowing lights instead of these harsh white curly Q lights. So it just made everything cozier, and then I had to squint to play those Tiger games under the warm yellow lights, but it just felt like home at that point.
I think that's what it is, because my brother and I always talk about that. Like anytime we talk about certain things from like when we were younger, it always seems to revolve around like the fall time or Christmas time. Like I mentioned a billion times on this podcast, like the warehouse, but like one of my memories is always going to the warehouse around Christmas time because we'd, get Christmas shopping there, or like we'd shop for friends and family, or like, we'd rent a game. And like, I remember buying things like Mortal Kombat Trilogy there. I remember I returned Rage Racer there and I got Xenogears, which might have been the best thing I could have swapped for.
Rage Racer?
It's I think it's the third Ridge Racer game, second
Oh.
or third. I forgot why they called it Rage Racer, but I didn't like it at the time when I was a kid. So I was able to return it, and then I didn't know what Xenogears was, but it had a giant mech on it. I was like, well, it looks cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was one Christmas gift I got from one of my best friends, Brandon, who may or may not be listening to this episode, but I think it was Christmas. But he got me a used copy of Knights of the Old Republic on Xbox.
Oh wow.
And it was used at Blockbuster. But the hilarious bit about it is that, like, he gave it to me, and he's like, "Look, I played the hell out of this game, and you don't know how hard it is for me to give it to you right now because I put like 25 hours into it. And I'm not done with it. This game is that good, so I hope you really enjoy it and finish it because I want to borrow it to finish it."
I feel like that leads into some of our later Christmas memories where we would start getting each other games, when we had the money for it, and and we would a lot of times just go to the store together, go to EB,
Yeah.
and buy it, turn right around in line, and go, "Here you go, Merry Christmas."
Yeah, wrapped in the receipt or like
Wrapped
the
in the
bag.
plastic
Yeah.
bag,
It was
and
a
then
tradition.
as soon as you're done with that, I'm gonna borrow it.
I think that's the fun part about those kind of things, especially when you have gamer friends where it's like, it's different now when you're an adult, but back then it was really cool where you could you wouldn't coordinate necessarily. It would just end up happening that way. But it's like if you all had different games, and everyone would just be trading. Like
Yeah.
some kid would. I remember there's times like some kid would overhear a conversation about games you're borrowing. He's like, "Hey, can I borrow this?" Like, well, what you got? Like,
Yeah.
you're almost like negotiating and making deals for these things.
Yeah, this has got to be a 1-to-1. It's not a freebie here.
Yeah. Any awful Christmas games that you can think of, Deucy, that you might have played in the past? I have one that I did try, but I know it wasn't much. It was the awful Grinch game on the PlayStation 1.
Oh, you mean like Christmas themed games?
Christmas themed, or maybe you've played some other awful Christmas games. I don't know. It's pretty open ended.
Because I immediately was trying to think. I don't think I ever got a game that I was disappointed in as a gift. My parents or my family usually stuck with the list. They weren't trying to go out and say, "Oh, you might like this." They knew that I knew what I liked. But as far as like Christmas themed games, that's kind of like why this episode is so free flowing, because there aren't a lot that I ever played or could think of. I know I've been watching YouTube recently, and various outlets will put out lists. I think Triple Jump just had a top 10. Was it top 10 weirdest or top 10 worst Christmas games or something like that? I think it was weirdest. And I'd never heard of a single one of them.
Wow.
And the only one I can think of is, and it wasn't until recently when I was living with Mike that I played the Duke Nukem expansion pack, the Nuclear Winter.
Oh, that's right. I do remember the Nuclear Winter one. I don't remember playing it much, but I do remember the cover. Yeah.
And it finally, I think it came out in a collection on PlayStation 3. It was one of their anniversary collections.
Yeah.
And so it finally had it was like Duke in the Tropics or Duke on a Beach or something like that. And then Nuclear Winter. I remember seeing Nuclear Winter available at Costco. Mm-hmm. And I was big into Duke back then, and we had at least gotten the like Duke and DC expansion. So I wanted those other ones, but I never got them. And then it was kind of good that I did back then. It works well as part of a bundle in this collection. But it wasn't as good as like the Tropics one, because it was really just everything you had already played before, but now there's snow and the pig cops have Santa hats on.
Oh, so it's really just like almost like a reskin expansion. Like there wasn't really much they did to it. It was almost like, it was just like DLC, but
and it wasn't
an expansion at the time.
The levels were new, at least. It wasn't like you were going through the old original levels, but they weren't that inspired, it felt like. Mm-hmm. Whereas at the beach one, like even your guns changed to like you had water pistols and things like that, and the levels were brighter and bigger. And this one, it felt a little rushed, and I want to say Santa was the main boss or something. I can't even remember.
That would be pretty funny.
I don't remember if I even finished that one.
Yeah. One Christmas themed game I do remember playing even around Christmas was Batman Returns on Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay, yeah, that counts. I have that.
Yeah, that one. I remember that one because my brother was a huge Batman fan at the time, and I mean still is. But he was like huge into Batman as a kid, like Batman, everything, figures, posters, whatever else. And we rented Batman Returns, and I didn't play the Batman NES game before this. We just got it because it was Batman Returns was new at the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so when I got it, I was pleasantly surprised that it was really good.
Yeah.
Right, like it looked amazing. Like all the sprites were huge. And then it's heavily Christmas themed. Like the first level is all like on a snowy street and everything.
And the mall.
And like so for me that one's kind of like a cornerstone for Christmas games. And I think Borderlands had like a Christmas theme event before. I'm trying to remember because they had a Halloween one. Yeah, and they did it really well too. I forgot what else was involved in it, but I do remember playing that. God, I can't remember which one it was.
The Christmas themed shipment level on Call of Duty recently. That was
like
fun.
a year or two. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Where they dressed everything up with like the Christmas lights. And
They even had the Krampus come and attack you.
Oh, that was during the Call of Duty Vanguard time. That was the bad times, as we call them.
That was
awful.
when Krampus would kill your game.
Yeah, I remember we were playing with I don't know if you were in our party at the time. It was me, Danny, and Matt, and we were playing, and Krampus was around. But this is, of course, Call of Duty Vanguard Warzone or Caldera.
Yeah.
Which was a glitchy mess the entire time it was out, it seemed like. But Krampus was doing like a T-pose, and he would like slide all over the area. So we somehow goaded him to, like he hit behind me or something, and I was down, and then he jumped into the house where we were kind of leading him into, and he like killed the entire squad in there. Which I don't know if it was supposed to happen because just like he was glitching out because again he was like T-posing and doing whatever stuff. But that's kind of like. It was supposed to be like a horror icon, and it kind of was, but in the worst ways.
I think anything that T-poses and slides around the level is going to be a horror thing at that point. But I did play. There were a couple matches where he would come into the multiplayer, like on the shipment level.
I do remember that,
and that at least didn't crash like Caldera.
Yeah,
I guess that playing the Christmas themes recently leads to the most recent Christmas memories of. We kept our tradition alive of gift giving. And I remember this was so... I don't know why I had never thought of it before, but when you got me Guardians of the Galaxy, the digital copy, and I could just go into my messages, and no matter the distance between us, like wherever you were living at the time or me, you could just gift somebody that through the Microsoft store or other game stores. And I was like, wow. That is brilliant.
I think that's the thing I'm trying to wrap my mind around, with modern games is like how easy it is. For one, how many games we have access to, and also how easy it is to access them and also like to gift them. Because like when I got you that, I was asking you, I was like, well, what do you want? And then I don't know if I think I'd seen on sale or whatever, and I just gifted it. But I was like, wow, it's really easy. I could just put his name in there, buy the game, and it just sends a message saying, hey, you get a brand new game here you could download right now and play it,
And I wasn't expecting that at all because you had asked me, and I had no idea at that point because these days I can get basically whatever I want, and you can do the same for yourself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice that we've known each other for so long that we know what the other one might be interested in.
Yeah. And it's usually, for the most part, it's pretty straightforward and simple. I think it's literally gotten more difficult as adults because, like you said, now it's like we're buying our own games and whatever. Before it was like, we kind of keep each other in the loop of what games are coming, what we're interested in.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, well, I know what he's going to get. And
it's even harder now, too, because of Game Pass or various like Steam things where it's like, oh, I could get you this, but you probably already have it because it costs a penny.
Yeah.
Or it's free.
Yeah. It's on subscription thing.
Yeah.
It came in some bundle. Yeah. God, it blows my mind. Like, it's just like when you're searching for a movie like on, Netflix or wherever, we're just scrolling. There's times where it's like, I just cannot settle on a freaking game.
Yeah.
And it's really insane how we've gotten to that point. I just can't believe it, especially when I'm like looking at all the games we have here alone, right? It's like we've played all these throughout time at some point, and now it's like you could all fit them in a freaking one hard drive pretty much,
Yeah, especially all the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. You could have the full catalog, and it's not even anywhere near the gigabyte space that some modern games are.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a shame because for the first time in a while, I have a clear picture of what I want to play. Like I said, I have those games that I downloaded since Call of Duty isn't there, but I just don't have the time.
Yeah. Well, and what I find myself running into too is after work, like I was telling Randy about this too, where it's like you almost kind of like psych yourself up, like, oh, I'm gonna play a game after work, or whatever.
Yep.
And it's like after work, I eat dinner, I walk the dog, whatever, and it's like whatever it is, 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'm like at a point where I'm trying to get myself into the mood to play something, and then I end up like just waffling around towards like 15 minutes. Like I don't know what I want to play, and it shouldn't be this difficult. Like why can't I just pick up a controller and just start something? It's almost like you're worn out, and you don't really want to invest your mind into doing something like that.
Just yesterday, I was at work and I was thinking, oh, when I get home, I'm gonna finally have some time to play Baldur's Gate 3 because the past few days of this week, I had a company Christmas party to go to. I went out to the movies with friends, and I did something else with my wife. And so Friday, oh, hey, I finally have some time. And then I got home, and like you said, I was just like, oh, let me turn on YouTube and watch some short clips for a little bit.
You just want to unwind.
Yeah. Oh, wait, these clips ended up being like 20, 30 minutes each, and I've already lost like 2 or 3 hours. So by the time I finally played Baldur's, it was fairly late, and I was dozing off just walking around a town because the music is so calming.
Yeah.
And I was like going to shops, and I was trying to talk to people, and then I was just like nodding off, and my eyes are getting heavy, and I'm like, damn it, I guess I'll play this another day.
Yeah, that's what happens. And that's why I end up getting into fighting games or something else, because I'll get into a set or whatever, and then it's like the irony is just like anything else where, for me, like if I don't feel like watching a movie because it's too long, I'll end up watching 3-4 episodes of a show, just no problem.
Which is the same length.
It's the same length. And it's the same with fighting games where it's like I'll sit there I'll do a couple sets, and it's like 2.5, 3 hours later, I'm like, oh, well, I could have played something else, I guess.
Yeah.
But I just was so invested in Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter,
That was an issue last week. I had played Baldur's on my day off, and the night before I had dozed off, so I was not thinking clearly, and I totally messed up a battle, and I died, and I had to restart from basically the beginning. It was right after the big ship thing crashes at the beginning, and I had to do everything I'd already done, but this time I was more awake. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and I passed the battle I died at, and I went to somewhere else, and immediately died again at this huge battle that I was not prepared for, had no warning for, and I was just sitting there thinking, this sucks. I could have been playing something else and actually making progress.
Yeah.
I just literally wasted like 2 hours of my day off when I could have been watching a show or a movie or something and reading a book.
Yeah, it's like what Mike did when he was talking about in our best of episode with Phantasy Star 4, where he didn't save for like 4 hours, and
oh yeah,
he felt like he wasted all day on that. But yeah, you definitely got to save a lot in Baldur's Gate 3. That's something I quickly learned in that game, because I do the same thing where I'll play through some of it and then it's smooth sailing, and all of a sudden, some interaction didn't go the way I thought it would, and I'm just destroyed in like a couple turns. Usually because I made some mistake or because I didn't see something coming.
Yeah.
Like I told you when I defeated one Goblin Queen with toppling a statue, because I learned that because she toppled it on me first. So I reloaded and did it to her. Man, all right. So Deucy, any last Christmas thoughts? Any last things you want to? Maybe we'll wrap the show around here. Wrap. Little pun in there.
Wrap it up. Put a bow on it for our listeners.
Yeah.
No, I think that's pretty much it. This was a real breezy episode to get everybody into the spirit of things, because at time of release, we're going to be right around the corner.
Christmas. Yeah, it'll be right before the Christmas weekend, and hopefully, unlike us, you'll listen to this, and maybe amongst our ramblings, you'll be like, yeah, I really want to play some games, and not and then watching YouTube for 2 or 3 hours, thinking how you could have played a game in that time.
Just put this on. You should, cut in some Jingle Bell music.
I'll put some sleigh bells. Maybe we'll lead into like some sleigh bells, like like the Santa is coming around or something. I don't know.
And just get people in the mood to have a hot cup of cocoa and play something that's open world or open ended, and they can just relax.
Kick back. Maybe play some God of War Ragnarok. That has some nice DLC. That has a snowy
that's what I meant by relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, for me, perhaps
all the death and
all the drama in there. But yeah, so yeah, for me, I'd say everyone, have a great holiday. Please enjoy yourselves. Deucy, thank you for 31 years of friendship and all of our. I don't know how many times. It must be for almost every single year we know each other, we've gotten some sort of gift for one another, I think.
I think it goes back even to when we were in school and maybe our parents helped us get something for
I'm
each other.
sure, because I remember going shopping and my mom's like, all right, well, we're getting Deucy. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
back then you didn't have Deucy as a name.
No.
You were known as Matt, so it made sense. So yes, thank you for your friendship. Everyone else, please enjoy the holidays. Nuzzle up. Listen to some jams, Christmas jams. I'm a big fan of Run DMC. You can also some movie recommendations before we wrap up. Jingle All the Way, fantastic movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Friday After Next,
Oh yeah,
Christmas Vacation,
of course.
Die Hard.
Yep.
And my personal hot take: stay away from Christmas Story. Not a fan.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna end up seeing it anyway. You can't avoid it.
I will avoid it.
I do like how some stations are doing 24 hours of Christmas Vacation.
I think that's great. So
That's
it's
a
long
great-
overdue.
Yeah, that's a great combat to
It
the
is.
Christmas Story. Oh, also, I'll add Elf and the Santa Claus, the original.
Yes, I would say the original with Tim Allen. Yes. Yes. So thank you everyone for listening. Have a great holiday. Have a great time. Be safe and play some video games. We'll talk to you next time with Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. Thank you, everyone.